Good morning, family, friends, and followers. It is day 113 on the PCT, and it is 7 a.m. We're just over 3 miles into our day so far. But today we are leaving, or we left, the town of Sierra City, and got dropped off at the trailhead by our friend Rob. We'll talk about him and Sierra City during our wrap up, but it's he dropped us off at the trailhead, and immediately we started climbing. So this morning, this is kind of a, I don't know, I think there's there's a little bit of hype around this climb, that people say it's, you know, daunting, whatnot, but it's about 3,000 feet of elevation. I want to say somewhere 4 to 5 miles, something like that. I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it's a long way up and a long way, you know, over to do that distance, but so far it hasn't been bad, really. I think we're kind of somewhere in the middle of it now. There's this little flat section here, but we had a great view from here, so, and a little bit of flat for me to walk on while we talk. So the temperatures the last few days have been pretty hot, so today I think we're kind of in a downward trend a little bit here. So not that it's going to get cool necessarily, but it may not be as hot. So we're just making our way along the along this climb. When we get to the top, we'll if not before, we'll take some more video and catch up a little bit. And I think from what we understand, oh yeah, right down there's the town. Right down there is Sierra City. Yeah, Rob's not there. He said he would watch for us, but he had to make a supply run for the hotel. So small town, great, cute little town. Again, we'll talk about it later. All right, we're gonna continue moving on here so that we can finish this climb and get on with some more of our day. All right, so for some reason I thought it was only 4 miles to the top of this hill. It is 7.8, and it was just over 3,000 feet of ascent. So it wasn't bad, really. What I thought we were going to show you when we get up here is, we'll talk about it in the wrap up, but 2 days ago, there was a thunderstorm and some lightning strikes that sparked a forest fire very close to here. And from what we understand, some hikers yesterday from up here could see the fire, could see the smoke. Not that we want to show you that kind of thing, but we thought we were going to be able to, we thought we would see it and just share it with you. That storm added to another pretty significant fire that was already burning. Last report was it's about 2,000 acres, and I don't think there was, I think it was 0% containment as of late yesterday. So I'm glad that we can't see it, but at the same time, just to share the reality of what's out here with you was the intent. So maybe we'll see it later. I'm not sure. It's kind of to the northeast of us. The wind is blowing to the northeast, towards the northeast, so we really aren't affected by it. So hopefully they will get that under control quickly. But it's somewhere out there. If we see it, we'll share it with you. That's Gold Lake. Lots of lakes down there. I think that larger one is Long Lake, and the smaller one just on this side of it might be Silver Lake. There's a lot of them on the map. It's hard to tell which ones are which. Really pretty though. All right, here we are, the end of day 113. Let's back up a little bit. Let's go back to the end of 111 and what happened yesterday too, on day 112, quickly. So, because we didn't have a wrap up for 111, so we got to the town of Sierra City, and we stayed at the old Sierra City Hotel, which is lovely. Run by Rob, and I put together a little bit of video of that place. It was a great place to stay. Right across the street was the country store. I don't remember the gentleman's name that runs that store, but that was a great place. Resupply was pretty decent.
Resupply was good considering what it was.
Yeah, considering it's just I mean it's like a 2-block town.
Yeah.
And yeah, and yeah, there's really not much there. There's like another, there's a little saloon at the end of the town, and there's the
other restaurant wasn't open. Wasn't open.
Yeah, they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays, the 2 days that we were there. And there is a resort at the other end of town that we did go down and get a couple of meals from. So that's about it, really, in town. But the old Sierra City Hotel was lovely. Had a great time there with Rob. So then, 2 nights ago, our first night there, we were just going to Nero, and we had the windows open overnight in the hotel, in our room. It's in a very old building, 1886, and but in the middle of the night, we woke up, as most people do, and you could smell smoke.
I didn't smell anything.
You didn't smell anything?
No, I was so tired.
You were out.
I was sleeping.
Okay, so I smelled smoke. Other people said that they also smelled smoke. So
anyway,
regardless,
we got up at 4 o'clock.
We got up at
4:30.
Yep.
Packed up, ready to go. Packs on our backs. 5:30 was going to be our drive up to
the trailhead.
Rob was taking us up, and he's like, "Did you guys look outside?" I'm like, "It's dark outside." So we went out on his porch, his second story porch, and sure enough, the sky was full of smoke.
Yeah.
And you could smell it. It was really strong.
Yeah.
So he got on and he's like, lightning strike yesterday, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. As we were hiking in, or no, we were in town. We were in town by that point. Sorry.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, lightning struck, and he's like, I've been watching it since like 10 o'clock last night. He's like, it's not close, but the wind is blowing in this direction. You don't know where. He goes, I don't feel good about taking you guys up to. Now, we obviously could have walked up to, it was 1.5 miles. We could have walked up to the trailhead if we wanted to. However, the air quality, we have an app that we are able to look at air quality, and it was like 350 particulates, and I think it's what's supposed to be.
Well, much less.
So,
less.
Anyway, so we looked at each other, and we wanted to get an early start because we had an 8-mile climb, 3,000 plus elevation gain,
The one that
first
you saw
thing in the morning.
now that we did today.
Yes.
Yep.
So we wanted to be up and out before the sun was blazing and it got too hot and
Right.
that kind of thing. So that was our strategy. So we looked at each other, and
So we would have had to make that climb with the air filled with smoke.
sure.
And
Not knowing once again where
which-
it was going to
Right.
spread, if it was going to spread.
because the wind was coming our direction
Correct.
at that point.
Yes.
Yep.
You're blowing all the smoke towards little old Sierra City.
Right.
Anyway, so we made the call to stay the day. Rob had a room. Our room's still open. So we're like,
Yeah.
all right. I mean, why not? I mean, there's
Yes.
no reason to.
No reason to go
To
out
struggle
and be
through it.
unsafe. Yeah. And once we were out here, not having service and being able to keep track of what's going on with that fire. So it was, or is, estimated about 20 miles from town. There are 2 ridges in between, fortunately for Old Sierra City, but regardless, it is what is it, up to 2,900 acres now?
Yes, and so the wind did shift then about midday yesterday and cleared all the smoke out of Old Sierra City. However, it's the evacuation now for those other spaces to the northeast of us at this point are evacuated, and they're all going into the next town, Quincy.
Yes.
Which is
where
town.
we're going.
Yes,
next
this weekend. Anyway, so
yeah. So
yeah, it's 0% contained at this point. I just checked as well, which is hugely unfortunate. But fires are burning all over the place. I
Everywhere.
mean, it's so incredibly dry out here, and
So
and there's tree fall all over the place.
Everywhere.
I mean,
I'll
and
show
it's
you.
a lightning strike, and then
that's it.
it's just
It's
a
gonna-
tinderbox.
it's
It
gonna be
really
gone.
is.
Yeah.
So
I forget what I was going to say now, but it was an existing fire already. It was called the Mill Fire, but those lightning strikes added to it. And now it's much larger. I think it was like 1,600 acres, and now with those additional lightning strikes, it's now grown and, like you said, uncontained.
yes.
And it's really unfortunate. So there's another really big one. So we can bypass this one. Fortunately, the winds are in our favor at this point. Obviously not for the firefighters, but at least it's keeping the smoke away from the trail. We are going to continue on to the town of Quincy, but we are also keeping our eye on another really large fire that's been burning for quite some time, the Shelley Fire, up in Northern California. It's a couple hundred miles, probably about 400 trail miles from here. So that's another thing that we're keeping an eye on. And then up in Oregon, at least the northern half of Oregon just has tons of fires. So and into Washington as well. So so we're just keeping an eye on things, taking it day to day, section by section, and hoping that we don't wake up in the middle of the night and smell smoke. Anyway. So that is what happened, and that's why we took an extra day off yesterday.
So this morning we woke up at 4:30.
Yeah, did it all over again.
And got packed up, and Rob brought us up to trail.
Yep.
And we hiked in.
Yeah.
And then Rob went to Reno because he has to go get supplies.
He had to go get some paper supplies. Yes. So, which is an hour and a half drive for him one way. So, so he was kind enough to take us back to the trail, and then you would see the video of what we did today. We made that, it was just shy of 8 miles to the top of that hill, and 3,000 feet. So
we met some hikers who actually night hiked it last night.
Right, to stay out of the heat.
But it takes so long to cool down, even in the evenings.
Right.
So
she said even night hiking, they could feel the heat coming off the rocks.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we
we made the good call.
Yeah,
it was cool. Cool this morning. It felt good. We got up actually pretty quickly. It was the elevation wasn't too bad, or the grade wasn't too bad. So, and then once we got there, that was about halfway through what our plan was for the day. So we pushed on. because we would have gotten done at
well,
12:30, 1 o'clock.
We ate
Yeah.
lunch at our campsite, our planned campsite.
Right. So we ultimately today we did 20.8 miles of PCT, and yeah, we found this lovely campsite that I'll show you. I think what I will try to get through the trees a little bit of what we think is the smoke and the clouds coming from the fire. You know, it's generating its own weather at this point, so I'll try to get a little bit of that too. So yeah, otherwise today was just a hiking day with some nice views.
It's about mid-80s, I think, today. The heat's supposed to break, hopefully. It was 90s in town yesterday.
It was hot.
Mid-90s. It was hot. Yeah. And hiking in, it was hot.
Right.
The other day. Yeah.
So yeah, so we're forward progress here. Oh, and first thing early this morning, in the middle of the hill, we also hit the 1,200 mile mark, which was exciting too. So there were a couple of stone 1200s that people had made, and we took our picture with. So I think that's pretty much it for day 113. I will give you a little tour of the campsite here in just a moment. Good night, everyone.
Night.
All right, and here is our campsite for the night. We are set up in this little spot that it's not an official campsite, but it sure looks like it. People have cleared away. If I pan around here, you can see that this is just debris all around here. I'm not sure if there was some logging going on or if this is just from you know, just tree fall and storms, whatever, but this one little spot was cleared out here, and we were gonna go another mile or so, but we were dry camping up there, so when we found this just a 1/10 or 2 miles away from the water, we decided to snag it. So here we are for the night. Hopefully there's a nice breeze here keeping the bugs away, which is fantastic, and we're going to try to keep the fly open all night like that. So all right, have a good night, everyone. All right, I know this isn't a great shot here. We'll probably get a little bit more tomorrow as we walk ridges, but you can see up here to the northeast, these are the clouds. Smoke down at the bottom, but the clouds are being formed by the almost 3,000 acre fire that's just burning out of control. I'm not sure how far away it is right now after our hiking today. It could be 20-30 miles away, something like that as the crow flies. So anyway, that's what's going on out here. Fortunately, I said we are walking away from it, more or less, but the people that are in the towns on the northeast side of it, where the winds are blowing towards and it's starting to get there, they are evacuating, and have been for a couple of days now, and they are headed towards the town of Quincy, the same town that we are headed towards as we hike. So there are evacuation points set up there for them. We hear there's a lot of ranches out that way. A lot of horses have to be evacuated as well. So anyway, just something to keep in mind. These things are happening out here, unfortunately.